Ladies and gentlemen, our third catch of the night, Saint Social. If you like live music, the Gulf Coast Music Listening Room event at Spring Hill College is where you should be on Friday, October 10th at 7 p.m. For $10, come enjoy some originals and make connections with other music lovers. A listening room is a respectful environment for the sole purpose of observing great music. As of now, no alcohol or any other outside substances will be permitted. To buy pre-sale tickets, use the link in our bio and show us your receipt at the door. We'll have t-shirts. See you guys there. So yeah, please break down Higher in the Choir in Las Vegas.
So that was Bad Little Vibe and Don't Forget Me off that Tantra album that me and Blue did. We did that whole album pretty much while we were on the road, touring with Chris Brown, Lil Baby. And
what's it like doing an album on the road?
Making sure, like, I can't get the king size room because I need to get 2 queen size mattresses in the hotel room so that I can stand the mattresses up and make like a faux vocal booth.
No way.
So that we can set up and both be on headphones and get
so
something
at
done
that
in the
point
hotel room.
you sacrifice the perfect audio for the fact that you got to get the vocals recorded.
The fact that we want to record at 3:00 in the morning and we're in a town that, city we've never been in and don't know nobody and, like some last minute studio thing isn't going to happen. But
right. It's either this or McDonald's. Yeah.
Right. Or not,
Right.
nothing.
Recording in a Walmart.
Right. Yeah, try that. That sounds good. But, producing and getting to that level is knowing that the art can come at any point in time. And if you're not serving the artist, but if you're serving the art, then you have to be ready when that art is ready to be created. And sometimes the artist who is the vessel for that art that they're going to create, sometimes they get calling at 3:00 in the morning and, hey, let's record this right now.
You better not be fucking with me right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Hold on, we're about to set all this stuff up and,
Right.
do all this stuff. It's like, I'm going to come down to your room. We're going
to
do some stuff. And I traveled with all of my gear. Like I had my, $10,000 microphone that like just is with me all the time and my bag of gear and my Apollo and all the stuff I would need to make that happen. My
TSA's biggest enemy.
Yeah, the Apollo. Dude, I got stopped so many times to get my Apollo checked out. It was crazy.
Right. We're going to the moon.
Yeah.
You're going to Phoenix.
Yeah. Right. This doesn't do anything but record audio. So we're good.
Yeah. Las Vegas.
So we're on the road and we're recording anywhere we could get in at. Home studios and in the hotel room, major studios. Whenever that idea hit, I'm doing a lot of editing on headphones and a lot of like pre-mixing on headphones. I want to say we were in Houston and Blue hits me up and it's 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Keylan, what are you doing? Bro, I'm about to go to sleep, like, what are y'all doing?
Lame ass. I'm trying to record.
It's like, man, I'm trying to get in here and do some work.
Right.
Yes, let's do it. I don't really want to right now, but let's do it because you got to serve the art when it comes down the plate. So
it's like a hospital call. The doctor's got to put on his vest.
I'm on the road, so like I'm always on call.
Right.
Like,
on call.
I mean,
right.
What else do I have to do?
Right.
Like, you want to create, let's create.
Yeah.
I'm sure I can muster this up and try to make something.
Right.
So he hits me up and, hey, I've got this idea. I want to work through this. And set everything up. He comes down about 30, 45 minutes later, and we sit down and we start working. And we worked on the first line of that song, and Blue's just coming out. He's just like, don't forget me. And he recorded that 80 times.
Oh.
That one little line.
Right.
And for me, that's out of the norm for Blue because he'll come in, he'll stick a line, and I'll be like, hey man, you want to? We ain't. It's good.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. Let's keep creating. We want to put stuff out. He worked for so long on that one line. I'm like, what is this? Like, where are we going with this? You know?
Wow.
About the 80th take, it was like, all right, we good. And then he just sat there and like went kind of bar for bar on the rest of kind of what the hook was
Right.
for Don't Forget Me.
And did you know as well whenever it hit, you were like, oh yeah, that's the one, or were you just, all right, take 81. And he's like, nah.
No, like in my head, I'm like, yo, 48 was better, you know. 59 was better.
Yeah.
I keep track, you know,
Yeah.
like I'm putting notes in the session, or I've got my pad next to me. So I'm locked in.
Right.
I'm not gonna let that magic take, you know, come in front of me and me not be paying attention.
Yeah.
Like I'm locked in. I'm not on my phone, nothing. Like I will sit there and let you do that 8,000 times.
Mhm.
On the 8,000, the first one, you might just do something that's amazing, you know, and you got to be ready for those moments. So I'm locked in. Cool. 80th take. Cool. Let's go. We'll see where we can take this now. Do we got a song yet? We just got this one line. You know, what's coming in behind this? I don't even think I've heard like a full 8 bars of the beat yet, you know, or the beat even like kick in at this point.
Yeah.
So we run down what was the hook for that record. So a couple days goes by. I think we did a show in Houston, and I don't know if it was like Dallas right after that, but it was like around there, Kansas City somewhere. That one hook that we did just kept kind of like popping back into my head. And now, granted, we're working on like 10 other records that are going on the album.
Right.
So I'm kind of bouncing all around. He's like, hey, drop this, and on this one, add this, you know, tweak those, send them back to me. So I'm not really like dialed in on this one record, Don't Forget Me, but it just kind of keeps popping up in my head.
So that experience of being on the road, you're working shows, but you're also in the meantime working on
We started making an album.
making an album at the same time.
I just finished mixing MGM Let the World Know, I think was the title of that album for Empire. And I came to Blue. We weren't working on any music. We were just focused on the tour. And he said, man, I want to do some rap. I haven't done rap in a while. I've been doing a lot of hip hop, R&B stuff. Cool. I just got done doing Let's straight up rap album.
Yeah.
I got some sauce, you know. I got some new shit up my sleeve.
You got some leftover sauce in the fridge that you can put to some turkey or something.
Yeah, bro, let's douse it up. You know, let's see what happens. And so we did 1 or 2 records. I think that kind of ignited Blue's ability to still have that creative outlet and create, even though we were on the road and we were on tour. Yeah. Hey, we can do both. Yeah. And he's got the work ethic to do both. Yeah. I've got it. I share that. So why not? You know, like there's no reason that we're not creating something more than just a show. Let's create something that's going to last a lifetime, not just a moment in time. So we did a couple records, did that kind of hook to Don't Forget Me. That hook just kind of kept sticking in my head, like. Now I'm to the point where I'm like opening up the session and like, what new plugins can I try out on this? What can I do new with this? I just gotten the Fab Filter collection of plugins.
Classic.
Their reverb plugin is sick.
Right.
I start going through and I find this insane 5 or 6 second long reverb that has this like very subtle pre-delay to it. Smacking on those vocals on Don't Forget Me, and I'm like, this is cool. Yeah. This is huge.
Yeah. That's awesome that he trusts you to do something like that. Yeah.
At that point, because we had done so many projects together.
Right.
But even then, I smacked this huge reverb on there, and he's like, I'm waiting for him to like, hey, dial it back, dude. Turn it down. This is way too much reverb, you know. Right. Because I was being bold with it, but it felt like it needed it to be. Right. Opposite. Hey, dude, turn whatever that is, turn that up. Yeah. I like that. Cool. We're on the same page here. Yeah. Kind of thing. He's kind of reworking on this. So he's kind of reestablishing that want to take that one record to the next level.
Yeah.
So a day or two goes by, we did the verses for Don't Forget Me. Then we're a day or two out from doing a show in Vegas. We're in LA, and Happy, who was doing some A&R work with Empire at the time, was out of LA. I get with him and say, hey, man, we need to put a choir on this thing. Like, if you can line that up, we can put a choir on this thing. It's going to be sick.
Yeah.
So he's like, all right, let me figure out where y'all going to be at, right? Because we're moving and darting and flying around. Hey, we're in Vegas like 2 days from now.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, cool. We're going to get this set up. I'll set the session up. If you can go man it,
Yeah.
I'll have all the vocalists there that you need to make happen. So we get up that morning in Vegas. I'm usually going to the venue at like 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning, scoping things out, getting with the other production managers, looking for things, security things, production things, getting my head wrapped around everything so I can communicate that back to the team so everybody kind of knows what's going on when they get there. Not that morning. I woke up at 8 o'clock, ran downstairs. I'm eating food. Some of the drivers and security guys that we had, they were down there, and they're looking at me like, what are you doing? Where are you going? Right. Do you still need a ride to the venue like 3 hours from now? I'm like, nope. I'll see you guys there. I'll meet y'all there. So I duck over to the studio. It's called Studio A in Las Vegas. That's the name of the spot. And come in, and I've got a choir there getting ready, getting set up. I've got some guys who are assisting me. They're like in their 40s kind of thing. So
what does that mean?
It was just one of those things where like I'm like, hey, let me introduce myself and like kind of like get in and talk to people and feel it out kind of thing.
Okay, gotcha.
So I come into this like room where I feel like everybody's just like looking at me awkward, Yeah. Not that their age had anything to do with it at all, but it was
How'd you break the ice?
I didn't. I just like kept kind of like doing my thing.
Yeah.
And at one point, one of the guys comes over to me and he's like, hey, man, so we pretty much got everything set up in the live room. When's Keylan getting here? What? What you mean, dude? What do you mean?
Right.
He's like, when's Keylan getting here? I was like, dude, it's me. I'm him. They're like, oh, wait. Do you know what you're doing?
Kind of thing. Yeah.
Because I'm in front of us. We had a SSL 9000J in that room. It's like a 72-channel SSL console. And they're like, you know what you're doing? And I'm just like, yeah, man. Yep, sure do. Hey, while you're here, I need you to patch in these preamps because that's what I want on these mics.
Yeah.
These are the EQs that I want. And I also need you to go tape down all of their places where their feet are at on the floor in the live room so that everybody has a consistent position if we do multiple takes. Yeah. Shit they're not even thinking of. I was like, oh, that's fucking smart. Yeah, let me get on that, Whatever. So we do the session. We get the choir vocals towards the end of the session.
You should buy a shirt that says, where's Keylan?
Where's Keylan? Yeah, and on the back it says, yes, I play basketball.
There you
go. So meanwhile, everybody's setting up for the show. They're at the venue. They're wondering where I'm at because I'm usually like hitting them with like Wi-Fi password, what's catering bringing for dinner, and where to load in at kind of thing.
Right.
How many credentials does everybody need for their girlfriend, for that night? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm not there, so everybody's like, yo, where's Keylan at? Where's Keylan at? Like freaking out, because
everybody gets exposed on unpreparedness.
I'm the glue, like, all right. So
where's Draymond?
On the way.
Yeah.
On the way. Don't hit me with the technical. I'm coming. I'll be there. Yeah. So we get there, get the show done. Everybody's like, yo, what were you doing all day kind of thing. I didn't want to tell nobody what I was up to because
it's a funny game to play. Yeah.
I didn't know if that was going to work out. Is that idea of adding this to this record
and you
going to pan out?
You took $5,000 out the budget to do it.
$5,000. We got to book out the studio. Right. We got to hire, session musicians to come in, vocalists to come in. So I hope the label's cool with this.
That's a crazy move.
Fingers crossed, you know.
And it was just because of instinct. You heard that bar, how that.
It needed to be there.
Got it.
And I served the record. That's what the record called for.
Wow.
And
that's bold, man.
I gotta go for it, you know. Yeah. And like sometimes, a lot of times you gotta roll the dice, you know, especially when it comes to like creating stuff. And you know, you might fail a gazillion times, but dude, you should have learned a gazillion lessons. Mm-hmm. So I was either gonna
that's good, man.
Spend a lot of money, and you know that wasn't gonna pan out, and I learned my lesson. I never do that again. You know, maybe get it in the clear, or everybody's gonna love it, and it's gonna be what the record needs. Mm-hmm. So let's do it. You know, let's try it out.
Yeah.
So we did it, and we got done with the show that night in Vegas. We get on the jet. Everybody's, you know, 20 questioning me. Where was I at? What was I doing? You know, like, did I even stay at the hotel the night before? Right. Kind of thing. Like, what's going on? Like, y'all don't worry about that.
Right. How much crack did you buy off the street?
Yeah. Like, were you at the bar all night? You know, right. Where did you go? Where did you end up at? You know, who knows? And now Blues hit me up, and he's like, hey, man, like, send me, you know, you said you got another little mix on Don't Forget Me. You tweak some stuff. Like, shoot that over to me. And I'm like, hold on.
Right.
I got something else up my sleeve. Hold on.
Right.
The very next day, I catch wind. We're going to fly back to Atlanta. We had like 2 or 3 days off. We're going to fly back to Atlanta. Right. He had tweaked one of the bars on the verse talking about the rain in Georgia.
Okay.
So he gets with me and he's like, hey, see if you can find a sample. Throw it in there. And then after you throw it in there, like, send me this mix, dude. I'm ready to hear this thing. Like, you've had me on the hook on this one record for 2 or 3 days, and I haven't heard it yet. I know, dude. Just give me a little while, you know, just give me a minute. But I then had something else up my sleeve. I checked the weather. It's raining by the time we're supposed to get there. So we touched down. Pouring down rain. He's busting my chops, right? Like, dude, I'm about to like kick your ass if you don't send me this mix. Like, real talk. Like, where is this song at? Like, don't be pulling, you know.
Yeah.
Please tell me you have the files at this point.
Right.
That's what he's thinking at this point.
That you just lost it.
I just lost the files. I'm trying to like buy some time, you know, or something, you know, kind of thing. We touched down in Georgia, you know, his family's there. So immediately he's kind of getting pulled away by the kids, and they're wanting to go do some stuff. I'm like, thank God. I could slide in here to the studio that we had set up at the bottom of his house. Right. And I can kind of put my ears behind some speakers to actually get like a good mix on the choir stuff.
Right. Instead of the mattresses, this is probably better. Yeah.
Right. And the headphones, you know, in a jet that's loud, you know, I can finally like really hone in. I can get on a quiet room. Like God wanted it to be, man. As soon as I got the rig up and going, it starts raining again. And I hadn't found that sample yet with rain on it. So I'm like, this is perfect. So I grab a crappy little Neumann TLM 102 and run outside, and I set it on the back porch.
Like a madman.
Recorded the rain.
Yeah.
Like, this is the legit rain in Georgia. We are now capturing the sound of the rain in Georgia.
That's magic, man.
I layered that 5 or 6 times, threw it on the record. Literally, as I'm like fading off the clips, he's like walking down the studio and he's like, bro, if you don't let me hear this shit right now, I'm like, perfect timing. Yeah. Check this out.
Dog.
And bro just hit play. And I just sat there and his like jaw hit the floor, didn't say a single word. And we listened to the entire record together. And it was just like, when to this?
That's a movie, man.
I was like, dude, we popped off, you know, whenever we were in Vegas and went and made that happen. And, you know, there it is.
Yeah.
It's like, good call. That's what I needed. I was like, all right, cool. Hey, I'm going to send y'all the invoice for this because I need to get reimbursed, and we're going to figure this out.
Right.
You know. Kind of
hey, Blue signed off on it.
Yeah, he signed off on it. So that means the label's going to be cool paying for it. Everybody's there. It made it, you know. Now, if he would have been like, nah, I don't like that, like, take it off, I would have deleted it and immediately, you know, hated myself for doing that at all.
Gosh.
But no, it worked. It worked. So, but yeah, that one and Bad Little Vibe on that album, man, like on the production sense of things, we did some different things to bring those things to life, which
Meant to be.
yeah, they were. Yeah, it was cool.
Welcome to the Gulf Coast. Welcome to the Gulf Coast. Welcome to the Gulf Coast.
Welcome to the Gulf Coast Music Podcast. Today's new wave, Keylan Laxton.
Hey, good to be here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So yes, as we kind of went, I guess, halfway into your growing into a producer with being at Soul Kitchen, break us into how it started. What was the inception of your interest?
I grew up playing music, and I grew up around technology. I love technology. I love music. And so coming out of high school, the busted knee basketball thing wasn't working, and I always wanted to do music. And so as I was kind of rehabbing my knee right there at the end of my senior year, I started playing music a lot more, and like music that I enjoyed. And I went to a studio for the first time, Dogwood Studios right off of Government Street, and cut something there, and was just like, man, I want to do this. I had never seen an engineer or producer. I didn't really know too much about that. So seeing somebody do that job, it really sparked my interest in that field. And not too long after that, we went down to Orlando and took a tour of the campus at Full Sail University, and just kind of saw everything that they had to offer, and was like, yeah, I want to do this.
So it was just kind of a happenstance that y'all went to Full Sail in Orlando?
No, it was planned out. I mean, that was for me one of those things where it was like, I want to do this. I need to figure out how, where. There was Los Angeles School of Recording, the Conservatory of Recording Arts and Science, which one's in LA, one's in Phoenix. Full Sail being in Orlando, it was a lot more feasible, for me to come from Mobile to go down there.
How far of a drive is that?
About 8.5 hours.
Got it.
Yeah. So, and then I was down there for 2 years and got my associates in recording arts and bachelor's in music business.
Gotcha.
So it's pretty quick paced.
If you wouldn't mind just keeping the mic a little bit closer.
Yep.
Yeah. All good.
Boom.
So cool. So you're studying, and I guess what was the next step after that when you're 20 and you graduate?
20 graduated. It was like time to find a job. Like, I'm going to go make the greatest album of all time, and I'm going to be like Jay-Z's dude tomorrow.
Yeah. No time to waste.
No time to waste. And it just doesn't happen that fast. And so I felt that very quickly. But that was okay. I was determined, and at that point, I wasn't going to let anybody deny me from what I wanted to do. Like, I'm going to be successful at it. I want to do it, so I'm just going to keep doing it. And I have family here in Mobile, so for me to be in this area is like huge for me. Like, I'm just very well connected with my family, so I know that if I was in LA or New York or Atlanta, man, I would have been doing a lot of the things that took a while to happen. I would have been doing those a lot sooner.
Really? Because in a more saturated market, I feel like maybe it's glorified.
It is, and there's a lot of other people that are like shooting for those jobs, but I would have blown them out of the water.
That's that basketball mindset.
Man, like, I was prepared and ready for it. And when I go to those places now, I have no problem hanging. So,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I love that manifestation idea. With that, what maybe obstacles or signs of acceptance did you feel just from the music universe along the way?
Working to help bring people up to the next level was just that, like, ultimate kind of give back.
That was the feeling that you were searching for, you think, the most?
No, but it became the most rewarding.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, I was searching to be a part of making huge records that everybody listened to. That,
You became a point guard.
the needle. Yeah, it's like that's where I was trying to be.
Yeah.
You know, but along the way, I stopped kind of shooting for the stars as far as like who I'm working with or who I want to work with. I started to kind of look around me, you know, and ask myself, like, what's stopping me from helping the people that are around me or helping the people that are less experienced than me or the artists that maybe would need more experience or maybe not at the same level that I was at. And really asking myself, how can I help bring other artists up?
Sure.
And then maybe if they take off, you know, then they'll take off. You know, I'll take off with them.
Yeah.
So
Music feeds the soul, but food feeds the future. Right here on the Gulf Coast, thousands of families don't know where their next meal is coming from. Feeding the Gulf Coast is changing that tune one meal at a time. Imagine this. For every $1, you can provide up to 5 meals. That's like turning a quiet solo into a full-blown jam session of hope for someone in need. Let's turn the volume up on kindness and down on hunger. Visit feedingthegulfcoast.org to donate today, because together we can make sure no one goes hungry on or off the stage. Feeding the Gulf Coast, because every community deserves an encore. Whoa, 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 don't let the dogs out. The City of Mobile Animal Shelter has many loving pets ready for a nice home. Whether you're looking for a dog like Snoop or a cat like Doja, the City of Mobile Animal Shelter is where you can find your next friendly companion. They're located at 855 Owen Street, and you can stop by anytime between 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We all need a little bow wow in our lives. Call 251-208-2800 because the City of Mobile Animal Shelter has you covered. That's 251-208-2800. Roof. Yeah, I think in seeing how other engineers and producers do that, it's maybe another big characteristic of a successful engineer or producer is identifying something before it's grown, you know, identifying the seed before it becomes the flower. And then that's also a big entrepreneurial thing.
yeah,
And in owning Dauphin Street Sound, I'm sure that entrepreneurial ability is reflective in many things that you do.
I would hope so. Yeah, I would hope so. I think we've helped a lot of people cut their teeth and figure out if it's right for them, and have helped a lot of people get gigs and jobs in our community, which at this point, my friends that run these production businesses and, you know, touring and backline equipment businesses, promotion businesses, you know, I'm now able to help them find capable people. You know, maybe they're not making hit records, you know, after coming and being with us for a while, but, you know, maybe they can help go put on a pretty killer live show.
Yeah, I'm sure it hits you the same or even better.
Yeah,
You know,
it does. And then seeing them be successful in what they're doing is cool.
And what in seeing you know, musicians at all levels of the ladder, what are some traits that remain constant? And not even just musicians, all facets of the music industry.
For like the people who are still in it, people who are like just doing better at it.
Right, people that stand out that I want to work with them, be it I want to work with them because they're at a level that maybe I'm trying to get to, or I want to work with them because I see something in them that, you know, etc.
Yeah. I think there's a few like basic components that for me just are going to break that down.
Right.
Consistency, work ethic, drive, and do they just have that thing, like that it factor? You know? I see artists all the time where, man, they'll push on it for a while and they just take a foot off the gas pedal, push on it, and it kind of comes in waves.
Right.
And they don't see that continual traction happening that actually builds you as an artist.
Yeah.
I've seen other artists that, maybe they're doing shows and they're playing till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. And instead of like packing their stuff up and getting their butt in bed and waking up and writing music the next day, they want to party and kind of hang out for a while
Right.
and have a couple drinks.
Live that rock star life.
Yeah, and what ends up happening is now they sleep till 12 or 1 o'clock the next day. They don't feel great, but they've got a gig, so they feel like I got work lined up I can get to. Man, they could have like gotten up at 10 and wrote a song, or like not even done like a photo shoot or a music video, but I mean, look what we can do with our iPhones, like you could have made a YouTube video that day.
Right.
So it's that kind of like work ethic a lot of times that will inspire me to want to work with an artist.
Sure.
If they've got that, then like I'm locked in.
Yeah, I saw you had a picture from your youth of you had the computer in your lap or the keyboard in your lap, and it was this set up at an old spot, and you could tell the
My
drive.
mom's house, man.
That was your mom.
Yeah.
You could just tell the drive in your eyes, just like staring at from like 5 feet away. It was a nice setup too.
Yeah, I had to keep that in there. Dude, I had like 50 grand worth of gear at my mom's house. And, it was crazy because she would her and my dad, be totally cool. Just, to them, random people, coming in and
How old were you?
making records. I was 20, 21.
Right out of
time. 22 maybe,
Yeah.
I went and worked some construction jobs and literally took every dime I had, try to find used gear, and was working at Guitar Center, so I get some deals on
Didn't
some
save
stuff.
anything.
Didn't save anything, And man, I was working like 80 or 90 hours a week. Like
Shit, man.
relationships were not a thing.
Yeah.
Time with friends was not a thing.
Shit.
But that was
That's
just
inspirational, man.
kind of what it took,
Yeah. I'm sure you felt burnt out, huh?
No, I felt alive. I mean, it was a lot,
It
but
was just work and work.
yeah, but it never felt like work.
Wasn't work, yeah.
It wasn't work. I'm running live sound 2 or 3 nights a week at that point, and so I get that like going out feeling because I'm out around people. I got my social kind of battery.
Yeah.
But man, other than that, I'm just like nerding out on what's the next biggest and greatest thing and how to make another dollar so I can buy some more studio gear.
For sure. Yeah, let's get into the nerding out talk of it. I'm not as refined, absolutely not, obviously, of a producer and engineer, but on a basic level, I understand some things. Let's talk plugins, right?
Yeah.
When new plugins hit the market, are you just firm in your old reliable, or how often do you check out new plugins?
Man, every time. Like,
Every
there's
time.
something new. It's like, let me see it.
You never get tired of it.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like you're painting and somebody's like, we just invented 1,000 new colors.
Right.
You're at least going to go look at them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, you might look at like this blue or this red and be like, I don't need to buy a bunch more paint, you know, or I got what I need.
Yeah.
But
That's just blue spelled without the E,
we want to check it out and see what it is.
Right.
So yeah, new plugins hit. I'm like, they got a trial. They got a little 14-day trial. Let me try it out.
Right.
And I'm going to put it on like everything that I'm doing and just see.
That's cool, man.
Yeah. I got one like last week called Dyna Assist that like works on like editing vocals out. And it's like, it speeds up the workflow.
Mm.
So, and for me, that's important because that saves our clients money.
Right. And that's a good point. What is your process then of, because you don't want to try out, I'd assume at least you wouldn't want to try out plugins when your clients are in the studio and they're on a time crunch and you're like, I got to try this one out. Yeah. So when do you kind of find time to fine tune?
That's a after hours kind of thing, where it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I'm pretty much done with this mix. Like, I love it where it is. I'm getting ready to like bounce it down, send it to my client. But this new EQ thing came out that might replace this one.
Yeah.
So let me just like bypass this one and just slap this one on there and just see what it does.
Yeah.
And if it sounds good, it sounds good. And you just go with it, you know.
Does that creative process ever feel mundane, and how do you get around that?
I mean, at times, I mean, there's like new tools that come out, and it's, nowadays we're almost like visual in a sense. So you have to like make sure that you're not like looking at it. Oh, it doesn't look cool,
Right.
so let me not use it.
Oh yeah, that's a common theme, I think of.
It is.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite plugins are by Sonics. They're Oxford plugins, and dude, they're super basic. They look like just almost look cheap compared to like the new stuff
Yeah.
that's out there.
Yeah.
But they sound so good. I mean, every time I use them,
Right.
they sound great.
And it's just a simple.
It's a very simple, as far as like the GUI part of it.
Right,
It's
right.
a very simple thing.
Mm.
But yeah, I'll at least check them out. If something new's coming out, and I get wind of it.
Well, do you remember like the plugin that had maybe like the 50 cent effect to it, where when it came out, everybody was, oh shit. Yeah.
Like one in particular.
Or yeah, that stood out to you at least. That was
Um, I don't know.
like you didn't even sleep that night.
Right. Man, I'm trying to think. Isotope has one for like vocal processing, which when it came out was like really, really cool. Nectar was cool.
That sounds like
man.
some addictive stuff.
Yeah, because it has like 8 or 9 processors in there and all these different presets.
Yeah.
So you click on one preset and it sounds like a robot on Mars, and then this one sounds like a chipmunk in Alaska freezing. It's just polar opposite kind of
Right.
thing, all in this like one plugin.
Right.
So that was one that stuck out, where it was like, I'm gonna sit here and check out every single one of these.
Yeah.
Majority of them have like, this is what they do. This is what they're used for. This is EQ. This is a compressor. This is a reverb.
Mm.
When you're gonna lean into that.
Right.
But some of those other plugins, they got a little bit more magic under the tank. I'm definitely like diving in more. Some of these like new AI plugins they're coming out with, dude, so cool, super cool. And I'm not afraid they're gonna take my job.
Yeah,
I'm,
please talk on that.
leaning into them.
Yeah.
They're not going anywhere, right? Like this new AI plugin, plugin.
So with these AI plugins and these home studios, what separates a live person engineer eventually?
The biggest thing I know for a fact is the creative workflow.
Mm-hmm.
Even if me engineering, if I am going to sit down and I'm going to record something, maybe I'm doing background vocals on something, or I'm putting a piano piece down, or whatever it is, the amount of time it takes for me to record myself doing something, it literally is probably 2 to 3 times more of the amount of time. So if I had an engineer in the studio with me, it might take me an hour. But if I'm going to do it by myself, it's going to take me 2 or 3 hours to do.
Right.
And I'm so focused on the performance of it that it's really hard to dial into sonically what it sounds like.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like saying, if you're on like a NASCAR track, and you're just the driver, can you do the pit crew stuff yourself too? Yeah, you can. You're going to lose the race though.
Yeah.
If you have a team,
Even if the pit crew is just like going off, hitting a button, and it, you still have to get out the car and
do your thing,
right.
And
then you're like, the tires don't look right,
Right.
But if you had a team, you wouldn't think twice.
You don't think twice. You lean on your team,
Right.
and you just know, hey, they got their end of it. They're going to come in and do their job.
Yeah.
And my job as an artist is to come in and perform and give the best performance.
Hey fighters, listen up. Are you tired of feeling like your conditioning holds you back in competition? It's time to bridge the gap between theory and real performance. At Dexter's Fitness Center, we're launching a combat sports strength and conditioning program designed for boxers, kickboxers, MMA fighters, and combat athletes who want to get faster, stronger, and more flexible while building the endurance to go the distance. No more outdated workouts, no more burnout. This program is built to enhance your skill work, prevent injuries, and maximize your potential without wasting your time or overwhelming your body. Training starts August 12th at Dexter's Fitness Center, 1900 Government Street, Mobile, Alabama. Sessions are Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. and Saturdays from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. If you're ready to step into every fight confident, prepared, and in peak condition, call 251-709-2654 or email contact@dextersfitnesscenter.com today. Let's build the fighter you're meant to be.
Is this broad labor? I'd like to talk to you about the possibility of moving a couple of things for me from my daughter's house to my garage.
That's a great analogy.
So, yeah.
Let's see. Do you ever find yourself lost in the loudness war?
Yeah, I do. I was listening to a mix on the way over here. I'm like, it's so much quieter than everything else I just play
Right.
through Apple Music or through Spotify. I at that point in a mix, I can't worry about it too much. I just turn it up and make the notes that I need to make. But as far as like the loudness war goes, it kind of depends. Like,
Yeah.
if you like what's loud to someone might not, sonically feel loud to someone else. If you listen to a lot of like the stuff that's coming from the West Coast in the last 6 or 7 years, like stuff that like Drake and those guys are putting out, they kind of have this like ice cream cone master that they do where it's like big on the vocals and the vocal production, and then they kind of just, really kind of comes down on the low end side where it just doesn't hit that hard. But if, let's say, you go listen to Jeezy's Snowman album, dude, that'll rattle the speakers out of your car.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's a good one.
His vocals aren't super loud on that.
Yeah.
But as far as the low end goes,
ice cream cones is definitely a good way to put it.
Yeah.
I feel that for sure.
yeah.
Um,
But now if you're listening on your phone,
right.
that ice cream cone mix, that's going to be louder
Right.
because those frequencies are louder, but you're not going to hear the low end of a beat if it's really hitting.
So what are you making your music to appeal to? What's your...
Whatever stays true to the artist.
Okay.
Whatever stays true to the artist and whatever serves that record.
Right.
So let's say it's like some hip hop stuff or pop stuff. That artist, if they come in with a producer, I'm respecting the producer and his vision and where he wants it to go. If I'm stepping in as the producer in that role, not a beat maker, a producer, I am trying to hear what the artist wants out of it, and then I'm relating back to them what that record needs, and hoping that we get on that same page.
Yeah.
For me now to have a direction as far as taking the mix or the master goes.
Absolutely. That's the way you explain that. I mean, that just that gives anybody jitters, I think. Just that you're going in, you're going to create a project that is, can't be put into a physical form. It's this otherworldly thing. And does that kind of get your spirits up the night before? Like, I can't wait to wake up tomorrow and hit the drawing board with so-and-so and knock this project out.
Yeah, and I never lose that.
Yeah. And what is kind of outlining that project how much time are we talking for a typical album? Do you think? How many days?
That really comes down to like the budget that's there at hand. Is that something that a record label is taking care of? Is this an artist that I've worked with before who values me maybe more on the producing side?
Yeah.
Am I getting points on the album?
What do you mean by like?
Am I getting a percentage of the master?
Yeah. How do you do that math then?
Uh, Whatever you think your weight is, put it on some paper and see if somebody signs off on it. You know, and you can't dance if you don't ask.
Let's go.
So, but sometimes, like, if it's one of those things where I know that you're not that consistent artist with that work ethic and you're really going to push it.
Some artists are all talk, sing,
I'm not going to take the points because they might not be worth that much. I'd rather just be paid straight up, for the time that I put into it. So that kind of dictates the amount that I can give into a project, right? Factor in the amount of love I might have for it. We might show up with an extra 30 or 40% because I need this for my soul. So I'm going to feed myself by really digging in on this project and trying to take it to that next level.
So that 30-40% is the points that you're talking about.
30-40% is me saying I love the music that you're making and I am excited to work, and the budget really doesn't matter because I just want to do something cool.
Got it.
Your stuff's cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let me get in on it.
Yeah. Nah, that's awesome. What are some cool experiences throughout your time as a producer, engineer, in the studio, wherever? What are some?
Doing a show at Madison Square Garden was like super cool. And I did tour management for Young Blue, and we went on a tour with Chris Brown, Lil Baby, and seeing a sold out show at Madison Square Garden, that was cool. That was sick.
Did you kind of fake a jump shot?
Dude, I was like so turned around in that place. That place is huge, but I mean it was just full of stands out in front of where the stage is. I mean the court's not there, none of that stuff's there, but just the essence of what that building is.
Yeah, Nixon Nets give me high fives.
Yeah. And we did a show at the Forum too, which was cool out in LA. Where Rolling Stones, you name it, they've played there.
Right.
So that was a pretty cool venue. As far as like the live sound stuff goes, that was pretty cool.
And what about in the studio?
In the studio, man, there's so many of those moments that just like they just kind of raise the hair on the back of your neck kind of thing.
Yeah. Is there anything constant between those moments?
No.
Like nothing that can predict them or anything, it just happens.
Yeah, they just happen. Yeah, they just happen. With the live show stuff, it's like, all right, you know where you're going, who's involved. So there's this amount of like anxiety that you kind of get, or just, working nerves, that you kind of need to be at your best, for something like that. But in the studio, you're there to create, so you never really know, what could happen. I've gone into the studio looking for those moments, and they don't happen. So majority of the time, it's just happenstance that happened to come out.
Right.
So it's really hard to predict those moments.
Do you get nervous? Everybody's behind you, and you got to lock in and on the software and work at a. Do you feel pressure at all?
Not at all.
Really?
No. I'm like, yo, all right, y'all chill. Wait, I got this. You know what I'm saying? At that point, it's like time for me to clock in. Like, game winning shot, I'm taking the shot. A
lot of people feel pressure.
Give it to me. No, we're going to win this game. Like, put all the weight on my shoulders. Like, we've got this,
Right.
Because people feel that, man, if you don't,
Yeah.
It's cancerous, It
right.
makes them second guess you. It makes them kind of second guess like their ability.
Right.
But man, if you come in with that mindset of like, no, we're gonna do this damn thing and do it right.
Yeah.
Man, they feel so much better about everything that's going on.
Right. Getting into that flow state, performers have to do that. How would you say a producer does that efficiently?
Um,
Controlling that woo.
yeah, blocking everything out, like putting your freaking phone away.
Yeah.
Like just really like boxing out all those distractions.
Mhm.
And not letting them like interfere or get in the way. And then once you can finally get your mind clear, then you can start to then tap into the art.
Mhm.
What's the song we're working on? What's the record we're working on? What was the artist feeling whenever
Yeah.
they wrote this?
Right.
How can I help to bring that feeling to life when we create this art?
Yeah.
And how can I help them tap into that? And looking for ways that I can always be better or ways that I can always do something quicker, which is more efficient just for that creative process.
For sure.
But then also like challenging myself. Like I don't get stuck in doing things the exact same way every time. Like even if this formula has worked and this has got a gold album and this has got a platinum record, I'm not just going to go do the same thing because I'm not challenging myself
Right.
at that point in time.
That's the okie doke.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get caught up in that.
Right. You have to set the trends if you reach that point. Yeah.
Yeah. And how am I going to do that unless I push the envelope?
Yeah.
Push myself.
Do
So I'm
you-
always looking for something new.
Do you feel like a responsibility, at least in Mobile, to build the music scene?
I feel a responsibility to get in where I fit in, do my part, support to the ability that I can support, and to keep a recording studio that is such a major asset to
For
a
sure.
music scene running.
Yeah.
And even if I just am able to, have that space that artists can come and create in, and that's all that we do.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing my part, and then above and beyond that, it's like okay, now let's just go make some hit records.
Is managing Dauphin Street Sound as a business, does that ever interfere with being a producer? It's a business mind and a producer mind are two different things, right?
Yeah.
So does that ever interfere?
At times it does. I think me and my business partner Josh, we always have that talk of, all right, how do we take the business to the next level?
Yeah.
How do we grow? How do we expand? How do we make this a more viable place for even more artists to come in and work? Are there other like production things that we can bring to the table to offer as like a service to the people that we know? And as we always have those conversations, there's always a little part of me that kind of just wants to be like, all right, Josh, you handle all the management stuff. I just want to go in the studio and make records.
Right.
But I would say at this point, for where I'm at in my career, I'm able to kind of pick and choose, hey, who are those artists that have that work ethic and that consistency? Right. And, okay, like, if I'm working with them, how much time am I going to owe that project on a weekly basis? And it's about 25, 30 hours a week that I'm kind of putting into on that side of things. But on the flip side, what kind of comes in with the management side of things is training new guys that are up and coming guys that want to be engineering and want to be producing.
Yeah.
They've got their home studio. They've got their project studio. They might even have clients, coming to their project studios, coming to their home studios.
Right.
Showing them, hey, this is what it's like in the industry. Like I've been to these studios in LA and New York and Las Vegas and all these huge studios, ask all the studio managers a million questions because I want to kind of see how they're doing it.
Right.
So that we can maybe steal a few ideas and kind of do it our way. But man, showing these up and coming guys how to go in there and create something, but then like time management is a really big like personal
yeah.
asset to have
Right.
when you're engineering and producing.
Not getting lost in the sauce and feeling the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you broke down those different elements, and that was awesome. Training guys that already have clients, and then seeing other studios and how they operate. That's exactly what I was getting at. So,
Yeah.
of what it's like to manage a studio. Dauphin Street Sound. Can you break down its inception and how it's come along the way, and where y'all plan to take it?
Definitely. So that building that Dauphin Street Sound is in now used to be called Jada Entertainment. And it was Jada Entertainment for probably 10 or 15 years. I actually did an internship there whenever I was super young.
Yeah.
So I'm familiar with the building. Jake Peavy, Major League Baseball pitcher,
Right.
Cy Young, couple World Series rings. He's from Mobile. So he was finishing up the last couple of years that he had with the Giants, and he was wanting to do a lot with his foundation. So Ben Jernigan, who's here in the music scene,
Right.
was linked in with those guys and his brother Luke Peavy. And Ben called Jake and said, hey, man, we've got a space that we can put the foundation in, but, oh, yeah, it's also got a recording studio in the back. Jake had got hooked on this feeling of like listening to lightning in a bottle for the first time. He was in the studio when Need to Breathe was recording like one of their big hits. So he was one of the first people to ever, hear.
And you're saying he got
performance.
hooked on the feeling of being a part of something?
Being in the studio and what that
Yes.
does,
Yeah, feeling the magic before it erupts, yeah.
So I got brought on as a consultant in 2016.
And how do you get brought on as a consultant?
So was production manager at Soul Kitchen, but at that point I had built Fade Out Entertainment, which was my kind of project studio, glorified home studio.
Where was that at?
That was over by Davison High School. It was like a separated 2-car garage from my house. I like closed it in and had a drum room and a vocal booth and a control room. I spent like 2 or 3 years building that.
Wow.
But I learned a lot about studio construction through that process.
Yeah.
And I put a lot of money into it. I did one album in there, and that's all I did.
Yeah.
A bunch of singles and stuff. But Ben was playing guitar around a lot just in Mobile, and we knew each other through a producer friend, Ricky Hirsch, who played with Wet Willie back in the day and produces a lot of other artists here. Older cat, does a lot of band stuff. Ben calls me up and says, hey, I know that you have a history in this building. My guys, my buddies just bought this place. Come down here, let's talk. Let's see what it's going to take to like really build this into like a legitimate.
So how many people were on the task force?
At that point in time?
Yeah.
3 or 4, we were just like ground level.
Yeah.
But, we ended up getting designs for the rooms, and we hired contractors and had an acoustic team come in, and they did the layout for us and told us where everything needed to go, how much, how thick, to make those rooms sound.
How much time went into the prep of it?
We did a build out for a year and a half.
A year and a half.
Yeah.
Jeez, man, that's patience, man.
It was getting, all of that stuff in, and then I'm meeting with the contractors as they're, building up these isolation and absorption and different paneling and the diffusers that we have in there. Because if you see the rooms in Dauphin Street Sound, man, they're covered, but everything's custom, so it looks legit.
Right. And I mean, if it was already a studio, a building before, was it like breaking down everything inside and rebuilding, or what? How was that transition?
It was almost like ran out of money. Like after they got the bones up, like the walls are constructed in the best way possible for a recording studio, but like they had regular like office doors in there, and they had like RLX foam on the walls, so acoustically it just didn't sound great.
Got it.
They had some gear in there, but nothing crazy. So we went in, and Trina Shoemaker, she's got quite a few Grammys. She lives over across the bay and worked with like Sheryl Crow and Queens of the Stone Age and a bunch of other cool people. She came in as well and kind of put in her 2 cents on like what kind of gear we should get for working with different bands and things like that, because she's just got that experience, with her level of being in it.
So people felt that this was the start of something big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Jake Peavy's in here, and he's like, he wants to do it right.
Right.
Trina Shoemaker's in here. She got a bunch of Grammys. They want to do it right.
Lightning in a studio.
Yeah. And I'm on my come up, so it's like, oh, Keylan's in there too. Like,
let's go.
Those guys are doing something.
Yeah. Hell
They're doing something.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, we just started building, and I spent probably a year just like picking and piecing different pieces of gear that might, be used over here. Grab that for a good deal. Grab this for a good deal. Let's make it happen.
Do it the right way.
Yeah.
So then the early years, what were those like? And what time frame are we talking?
So probably 20, like late 20, maybe early 2017. I have to go back and like Facebook memories to figure out, what our like opening night was. I want to say it was on a February.
Right. Just use the bathroom.
Yeah. But yeah, I want to say it was like February 2016 or 2017. So it might have started a little earlier than that. But we had like a marketing team who's like kind of helping us put stuff together, trying to make that into like a destination studio, almost where like artists would come in, they'd stay for a couple weeks, come there and make records. So we kind of headed out in that direction.
Right. How did y'all pitch that as a marketing team? How did y'all?
Well, I was like backseat driving at that point. I'm just there as an engineer. So I'm just there to work in the studio.
So y'all had people specifically for business operations at that point?
Yep. They're managing it. People helping on social media.
Right.
We were up and going for maybe 5 or 6 months, and Josh Dagerpont, he came on at that point and started working with us. Me and him were working together still, doing shows at Soul Kitchen every once in a while.
Yeah.
But man, fast forward a few months later, Bayfest decides they're not doing their thing. Ben Jernigan has this idea of like, we've got to put something in this spot, and we're like 2 weeks out. So they just slapped 1065 together. So that's where that came from, was Ben Jernigan just being like, hey, we got to do something else, And he went to Jake and said, hey, man, if we can raise some money up to do this, we could put on this like little mini festival.
Yeah.
I think that started to take a lot of the focus that the team had to doing something like that.
Got it.
And hopes of like potentially making that like a ticketed thing.
Opportunity met preparation.
And so it started to kind of take away from the studio. And then, man, COVID hit, and everybody was just like, well, we can't be in these locked, sealed rooms with clients. And
wow, yeah.
Other people are like looking to get other jobs and things like that. And
so at that point, did you lose some of the business operations people because of COVID?
Everybody left with me.
Got it. Wow, man.
But I'm like, I need these rooms to make records in.
Right.
I've got my little home studio, and I got a lot of gear down here, but like, I still want to work with the artists who find themselves in these spaces.
Right.
So I went to Jake around that point in time and was just like, man, I want to stay here. And he's like, I know, but we might just have to sell the building. I was like, oh man, like, what do we do? He's like, well, talk to all the real estate agents, try not to, bad mouth it, if there's that opportunity. I didn't want to hold him back.
Right.
So like, yeah, I'm gonna play ball on that. But it also was that first time where I was like, I can do this like my way. I can run this my way, like the business side of it.
Right.
Because up until that point, I was just there engineering.
Right.
So a lot of the artists that I felt like were in our community in Mobile, when I would talk to them, they didn't necessarily feel like that was a home for them. Because I would see these artists at Soul Kitchen and other places, and I'm like, hey man, let's like get you in the studio. Where are we at? I'm still at Dauphin Street Sound. They're like, yeah, but they don't really do pop stuff over there. Or I'm, at a rap battle, and I'm like, hey guys, come to the studio. It's like, oh, they don't do rap. Y'all don't do rap down there. And it's like,
How the times have changed.
nah, man, like we can do everything.
Right.
But we had painted this picture of it being a country rock kind of place to try to bring those bands in,
Right.
who would need that amount of time to be in there for like what a destination studio would be like, instead of doing a
Financially, does it
4-hour
make more
session.
sense did it make more sense to start with bands as they were occupying more time because they had more instruments and probably working on deeper projects than a rapper that might do, a single here and there?
I don't think we knew.
Oh, y'all just
I think we were just
naturally gravitated.
I think we're just like, you know, shooting in the dark. But that was a lot of the love for the guys that were involved.
Yeah.
So from that love was that positivity that they could make that happen.
Got it.
But that's really hard to do. And, music and music creation should be for everybody, regardless of what type or genre that they're working on. So yeah, for me, when I got in 2020, it was like, oh no, I want to make it where like everybody can come and do their thing here.
And how was that step going into a more business role? What type of obstacles and types of creativity did you have to come up with?
Like working 110 hours a week, at that point.
Sleeping at the stew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Sleeping
mean,
on
there
the
was like 5 or 6 months where I stayed at the studio.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just there. I had to be there.
Yeah. The alarm clock was like Flo Milli.
The alarm clock was like the alarm going off because somebody just came in for work that morning,
Right.
and I was up till 3 or 4 o'clock, scheduling emails to go out at 8 a.m. So I don't look like a crazy person emailing people at 4 o'clock in the morning,
Right.
kind of thing.
Yeah, I feel that.
But then, doing something like that so I could go pop in and do this 9 a.m. till 12 p.m. session, and then I can email the person back who responded to my 8 a.m. email at 10 a.m.
Do your morning walk to O'Daly's and back and get back in the studio.
Yeah, I was pacing on the phone all the time, AirPods in, just like trying to get people in. And I leaned a lot on some of those newer guys and some of the guys that were on their come up.
Right.
So that they could come in and work sessions that I just couldn't do at that point in time.
So where do you see it in the next few years?
Yeah, I mean, that's another conversation like me and Josh have a lot. And, thankfully when I kind of took over in 2020, he popped in not long after that, and we just kind of partnered up on the operations there. So now we kind of split it 50-50. I would say over the next few years, from the studio side of things, is fully integrating a Dolby Atmos setup so that now we're doing spatial audio mixes for music. Anybody's got like a set of AirPods or, whatever the over-ear ones are,
Right.
You hear what that spatial audio sounds like.
It sounds exactly the same in the studio as it does in the AirPods.
It kind of would.
Yeah.
It would be because when you put those things on, you move your head, you can hear the sound going around you.
Oh, shit.
And you can hear the sound going over you.
Damn, that's some future stuff.
You got to check it out. Yeah. But Apple uses a type of Dolby Atmos called spatial audio.
Right.
That just kind of brings that music to life and makes you feel like you're in the center of it.
Right.
It's really cool. They use like binaural.
I whip my head back and forth. You start hearing it.
Yeah, no, you could do that. You can make things like spin around you,
Right.
But that platform and that codec that they use is like really for theaters and for movies and things like that. We're seeing it being adapted by music through the distributor like Apple Music, which is really cool. But for us, it's being able to offer that. So not only does the music mixing kind of go up a notch,
Right.
you don't have to go somewhere else to get that stuff done. We've done a lot of like big name albums and big records, and they're getting some other people to do the Dolby Atmos mix when we totally could have done it if we had all this integration done.
Right.
And then the some of the added funding that they pushed through in Montgomery a couple months ago that is giving these tax kickbacks to production companies. Now we're going to be able to throw our name in the hat and say, hey, do all of that production work in the state of Alabama, and you can get these tax incentives that the state now has pushed through with this bill that they just had come through, in hopes that we save more money to like out-of-state production companies and even like in-state production companies.
Wow. How do you explain that? How do you have evidence for saving other production companies money?
Right. So let's say you're making a film. Just like you're making a movie, right? We've started to see that over the last few years. A lot of movies being made on the Gulf Coast, especially like downtown Mobile.
As in independent movies?
No, I'm talking about like major motion pictures being done.
Gotcha.
We've worked with like Robert De Niro on things. We've worked with Morgan Freeman.
I saw Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
Did you get the jitters when he was in there?
First time, yeah. I was like, but then I was like, oh, this is super cool. Like listening to him like cuss out different producers where he's like, I'm not doing it that way, and they're like, yeah, cool, man. You can do it however you want, man. Like, you got it, baby. Like whatever you say.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, all right, yeah. Whatever he says, goes. But we got a lot more film things happening. So now we're able to go to them and say, hey, y'all are about to spend $5 million in the state, right, by shooting this film. Instead of going and spending a $250,000 on this Dolby Atmos mix back in LA,
got it. Yeah,
that only buys you, let's say, 1,000 hours at $250 an hour.
Right.
Over here in Alabama, for that kind of money, we could work 2,000 hours.
Right.
And we're just as fast. And so now the return on the mix that you get potentially is 2 times better.
Right.
Right.
And how does that save you tax then?
So they submit, before they go in and do the work, they submit in forms to Montgomery. There's an office up there, and they say, hey, we're about to spend $250,000, and it's going to be on audio production, and it's a part of this bigger thing we have going on. The state looks at that, and they says, okay, how many people are going to be locally hired? Is it 100%? Okay, now you qualify for that full tax incentive.
Got it. Nice.
We'll approve that.
Right.
So once it's approved, right, and they go spend that money, they pretty much is a sure bet that they're going to get those tax incentives kicked back to them.
Nice.
So they have to put the money up front, but the state kind of steps in.
So who's getting the tax benefits then?
So that would flow down to the production company that is hiring staffing out of the state of Alabama.
Gotcha.
So they would be the ones that would be able to apply and get those breaks.
Yeah, that's a good incentive.
It is. I mean, when you can get people to come in and do the work, for half of what it would take in these bigger markets, plus you get that kickback, it incentivizes you to come and do more work in the state, and it fuels the economy, especially on the production side.
Speaking of incentives, what's it like flying private?
It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it more of a necessity or an end goal given your stature?
At that point in time, it was definitely a necessity. Like,
right.
There's no way that we can leave from here and get there,
right.
and everybody's rested to the amount that they need to.
Yeah, I once saw Dikembe Mutombo after a plane, and he was in first class, and he was still just ornery. He didn't get any sleep,
Yeah, it was just wiped,
Yeah.
I mean, there's the touring guys where they're loading up the 18-wheelers, and they're sleeping on tour buses, and been there, done that. I ain't doing that.
Oh, yeah.
That's not for me. If that's what it calls for, I'm gonna stay home.
Right.
But yeah, no.
How
if we
bad
can
do y'all
fly
want me
and
out
go-
here?
Yeah, we can fly and go do the gig, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that. You know, I mean, it's not that crazy.
Nah, it was pretty cool though. And then lastly, just because it's kind of current events, what was it like working with Honeycomb Brazy and the entourage?
Yeah, so that was cool. That record, that record that he put out. So at the studio, really the only thing that we added to that was the recording of Birdman whenever he came in.
Oh, really?
A lot of those vocals and a lot of the creation of that particular record, it was just done in other home studios.
Got it.
And I can't, it's on the tip of my tongue, man. A couple of the guys where it was like, yo, this is at my spot. I was like, I know it's a collective to make those things happen. And it's like that at times when you are making records. But it was cool because
What do you mean by that again?
Just how sometimes like an artist will go to this home studio and they'll do this verse or they'll do the hook and then
Right.
maybe they'll come into our studio and now they're laying down the hook and we're doing the mixing, or we'll do the feature at our studio. So you see a lot of artists that they might work in 3 or 4 different places to complete a record.
Gotcha.
Kind of thing. And I know that one particular record, it had been worked on in a few different places.
Right.
But it was cool because me and Honeycomb got in. We did a couple other records that I think he just shot the rough mixes over to Birdman. It was just like, hey, this is what we're working on. He phoned in and was like, yo, why you got to set up what y'all doing? Yeah, I was like, dude, this is insane. Because growing up, like Lil Wayne was like,
Yeah.
I want to work with that dude.
Yeah.
So, next thing I know, it's like Birdman's like, yo, you're dialed in, man. It's like, thanks, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Man, well, I really appreciate you coming on here. And is there anything else that you wanted to bring to the table?
No, man, I really dig what you're doing with all
Thank you,
this.
brother. Thank you.
Like for me to see that consistency
Thank
and your work ethic, it's been cool to like see this journey that you've been on, and
Yeah.
I look forward to you getting bigger and better people and bigger and better artists, and and still having a platform for artists who haven't gotten there yet to be able to come on here and give their story on things.
Absolutely. Well,
It's cool.
yeah, you're definitely one of those bigger guys, and
Try to be.
I really appreciate the free consultation. Just
Yeah, man. Yeah, super cool.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, brother. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode on the Gulf Coast Music Channel. Catch Keylan at Dauphin Street Sound, and stay tuned for some Adobe mixing in the future.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Sweet.
Welcome to the Gulf Coast. Welcome to the Gulf Coast. Welcome to the Gulf Coast.